A very good morning to all. I am Dr. Ramya, Professor, Department of Community Medicine, Sri Siddhartha Medical College, Tumkur. Today, we will be discussing a part of the 17th chapter of Community Medicine, Healthcare of the Community. So, in that, today we will be covering the competency 17.3, which is primary healthcare. As this competency describes, 17.3 covers the definition of primary healthcare, its components and principles. So, to break down that as a specific learning objective, the first thing we are going to learn is the definition of primary healthcare, the components, core principles of primary healthcare like equitable distribution, community participation, intersectoral coordination and appropriate technology. We'll also learn about the essential components. These are also called as the elements. These are 8 in number. We'll learn each in detail and explain what it is. We'll also learn the system of delivery of primary healthcare in India. Lastly, we'll learn about the measures taken by Government of India to improve the delivery of primary healthcare. So, to begin with, health. Primary healthcare involves health. So, health, as we all know, is the fundamental human right. As WHO defines, health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being of an individual and not merely absence of disease or infirmity and the ability to lead a socially and economically productive life. So, to maintain this health, we need to take care of the health. For that, we have healthcare services. So, let's see. Healthcare refers to those services which are directed towards promoting and maintaining health and preventing and managing diseases. So, healthcare is key to the socio-economic development and also the progress of a country. It is the responsibility of the government to provide healthcare to all its citizens. Health is a state responsibility. So, our government, the central government, spends around 1.18% of the budget as against the expected 2.5% on health. Whereas the state government spend around 5% of the budget on health, where it is expected to spend 8%. So, as an Indian medical graduate, you are expected by the National Medical Council to be the physician of first contact who has to deliver the primary health care. So, that is the importance of this class. So, by doing so, you have to provide preventive, promotive, curative, palliative and holistic care to the patients. So, coming to levels of healthcare in India, we have 3 levels of healthcare, that is primary healthcare, secondary healthcare and tertiary healthcare. Primary healthcare is provided by primary health centers and sub-centers. Secondary healthcare is provided by district hospitals, community health centers and taluka hospitals, whereas tertiary healthcare is provided by medical college hospitals and apex hospitals. So, let us take a case scenario and understand this better. Suppose you are presented with a patient with common cold or flu. So, the patient comes to you with cough, rhinitis and fever. So, what do? You examine the patient and do some investigations and find out that patient is either suffering from upper respiratory or lower respiratory tract infection. So, based on that, you will treat the patient symptomatically or by oral antibiotics. If this doesn't work, the patient comes back to you with no relief or with high grade fever, chest pain and toxemia, you will again do investigations and find out that patient has landed up in either pneumonia or pleural effusion. So, what do? You admit the patient and give them IV antibiotics and other supportive treatment. This is the secondary level of healthcare. Suppose if the patient does not improve even after giving all these things, the patient say develops breathlessness, cyanosis, respiratory distress. So, what do? Now you investigate and find out the patient has landed in acute respiratory distress syndrome or respiratory failure. So, what do you do at these times? You will admit the patient to intensive care unit, or if the need be, you put the patient on ventilator care. So, this is the tertiary level of care. So, now you know what are the different levels of healthcare and how to manage cases accordingly. So one thing you can see here is there is referral going on, upward referral, or once the patient improves, the patient will be referred downwards. So coming to primary healthcare per se, it is the first level of contact between the individual, family or the community and the health system. So here basic and essential care services are provided. So if you see, 80% of the health needs of the nation is catered by primary healthcare itself. So let us see what the Alma Ata Declaration says about the definition of primary healthcare. See what happened way back in 1978, the members of World Health Organization and United Nations, they all congregated at Alma Ata, a place in Russia, where they all found out that most of the people in the world are not even having the basic primary health care. So based on that, they convened and they developed a slogan, Health for All by 2000 AD. So according to that convention, they defined primary health care as the essential health care made universally accessible to individuals and acceptable to them through their full participation and at a cost that the country and the community can afford. Here you see there are a lot of technical terms. So if you try to understand what are these essential healthcare facilities. Essential healthcare services are a set of services that is preventive, promotive, curative, rehabilitative and palliative services which are across different levels of care. Now you know primary, secondary and tertiary across different levels of care based upon the burden of disease and cultural acceptability. So when I say burden of disease here, it is the diseases that are present in a given community. That means in India, if we take the most common health problems in India are communicable diseases, non-communicable diseases, maternal and child health problems, nutritional problems and environmental sanitation problems. So if you understand on this background, primary health care is the essential health care which is made universally accessible to individuals and acceptable to them through their full participation where the country and the community can afford. So here you can observe there are 4 A's. That is, first thing is it should be available, it should be accessible and it should be acceptable to the community as well as it should be affordable. So the 4 A's of primary healthcare are availability, accessibility, acceptability and affordability. So once we know the definition of healthcare, let us see what are the services that are being provided through existing healthcare facilities at primary healthcare level. So we provide general outpatient care for acute illnesses and minor ailments. We also provide family planning services and other reproductive health services like treatment of sexually transmitted infections, care during pregnancy and childbirth, also neonatal and infant healthcare services, childhood and adolescent healthcare services, and also services for communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases under national health programs. So along with all this, we have referral services. For the cases which cannot be maintained at the primary health level, they will be referred to higher healthcare facilities. So as I was telling you, primary healthcare you should understand under 2 things. One is the principles of primary healthcare as well as the elements of primary healthcare. So these principles, as I was telling you, were laid out by the Declaration of Alma Ata in 1978. Let us see what those principles are. The principles of primary healthcare are equitable distribution, community participation, intersectoral coordination and appropriate technology. Very, very important. You should know all the 4 principles of primary healthcare. So let's see each one of them in detail. Equitable distribution means health services should be shared equally by all, irrespective of their ability to pay. As you can see in the figure attached, Equality is not what we are talking here. It is equity. Equality means you provide the same amount of services, whether the patient needs more or less, you are going to provide. For example, in this diagram, which is the figure which is being showed, 20 doctors are provided whether they need more or less. Okay. So, but in the next one where equity is there, they have provided the number of doctors based on the necessity of that particular community, so that everyone enjoys the equal level of healthcare services. So, here all people, rich and poor, urban and rural, must have access to healthcare services. So, that is called as equitable distribution. Then we have community participation. That means involvement of individuals, families, communities in promotion of their own health. When people, they themselves feel that their health needs to be handled, that will be more effective. So, for example, we have adopted the village health guide scheme, trained DAIs, that is trained birth attendants, then Anganwadi workers, ASHA workers. ASHA worker means accredited social health activist. These are the people who are selected from the local community, so that they are more acceptable to the community and they work towards the better health of the whole community. So, this helps to overcome the cultural and communication barriers. This is called as community participation. Then we have something called as intersectoral coordination. We all know that health is multidimensional. So, to cater for that, various departments should come together and work in effective collaboration for the better health of the community. So, here we have health sector, along with that agriculture to provide good nutrition and safe fruits and vegetables. We have animal husbandry to provide dairy and meat. We have other industries to provide raw materials and finished goods. We have education department to increase the awareness about health. We have housing, panchayat and municipal bodies to maintain the sanitation of a given community. And also we have the Department of Information and Broadcasting to create and empower people with more and more health information. So, there is a need for healthy collaboration between all these departments to achieve the best health services that a community can have. Lastly, we have appropriate technology. Appropriate technology means the one which is scientifically sound, which is adaptable to the local needs of the community, acceptable to the people to whom it is applied, and also that can be maintained by the people themselves. And it is in keeping the principle of self-reliance. People should be self-reliant in using that technology, and also the resources that the community and the country can afford. So, these are the components of appropriate technology. You can understand it better with an example like oral rehydration solution, which is given to combat dehydration during acute diarrheal infections. We all know that the main cause of death in acute diarrheal infections is dehydration. So, to combat that, previously what they were doing, they were admitting the patients and starting IV lines to tackle dehydration. But now with the advent of ORS, even in the remotest part of the world, people can reconstitute this powdered ORS and provide rehydration for children or adults who are suffering from dehydration. It's the most useful and handy technology. That means it is called as appropriate technology. Other examples for appropriate technology are growth charts. These growth charts can be plotted by grassroots workers like Anganwadi workers, who can show the mothers the growth and development of their own children. Okay. Then there are vaccine vial monitors to check the potency of a vaccine. These monitors will have heat sensitive chemical in them, which will change once the vaccine has been exposed to higher temperatures. Use of biogas system instead of liquid petroleum gas, use of bamboo sticks or wooden stick to do splinting till the patient comes to the OPD, or use of chlorine tablets to purify water, or just by educating the mothers to boil the water and drink. These are all the examples of appropriate technology. So these are the 4 principles, that is, we have equitable distribution, community participation, intersectoral coordination and appropriate technology. That's about the principles of primary healthcare. Let us see what are the elements of primary healthcare. So primary healthcare, the first element is education concerning prevailing health problems and the methods of preventing and controlling them, right? So the community should be made aware of what are the most common diseases that are present in their given community, and we should promote for food supply and proper nutrition, because nutrition is the one which will keep a person healthy. So proper nutrition and supply of food should be taken care of. Adequate supply of safe water, that means there are so many foodborne and waterborne diseases which are affecting the community now. So these are the basic elements that should be taken care, that is provision of safe water. Safe water means it should be free from harmful pathogens, free from harmful chemicals, and it should be palatable. So this kind of water should be supplied to each and every household, and also to improve the basic sanitation. Now the government has adopted Swachh Bharat Abhiyan to prevent open air defecation, and so many other measures are also being done to improve the basic sanitation. Then we have maternal and child health care, which includes family planning also. As we all know, India is now the most populous country in the world. So to apply the family planning services at the basic primary health care is the most important thing. Also, immunization of children against the major infectious diseases. Now we all know that in national immunization schedule there are 12 diseases that can be handled by the basic vaccines that are given, along with vitamin A supplementation, which helps in preventing vitamin A deficiency among children. Also, prevention and control of locally endemic diseases. We all know endemic disease is a disease which is constantly present in a given geographical area without importation from outside. So there are, for example, northeastern states, there are more the diseases which are more common in northeastern states of India are like malaria and other vector-borne diseases. Then if you go to Himalayan belt, the most common disease there is iodine deficiency. Then if you go to coastal region, filaria is the most common problem. So these diseases, they are called as endemic diseases. So we should educate the people living in that area about the endemic diseases, how to prevent them and how to control them. Also, appropriate treatment. Whenever a patient comes with any treatment, any injury or illness, appropriate treatment should be given for common diseases and injuries. For this, India has developed a national list of essential medicines. Around 300 to 350 drugs are included in it, which are provided free of cost at primary healthcare centers. So provision of essential drugs is also one of the most important element of primary healthcare. So let us see how this primary healthcare is delivered in India, and also secondary and tertiary healthcare, what system is there, what infrastructure is there to deliver this. As we all know, the healthcare delivery in India is mainly divided into public sector and private sector. Along with that, we have indigenous system of medicine also, and also voluntary health agencies which are providing healthcare services. So for that, we have public sector, in that the primary healthcare is provided by primary health center and sub-centers. Secondary healthcare is provided by community health centers, district hospitals, taluka hospitals, teaching hospitals and other things. Then we have other agencies like defense hospitals, railway hospitals, central government health schemes and ESI hospitals. Okay, so these are all different agencies through which the healthcare is delivered. Private sector, as you all know, you have private hospitals, polyclinics, nursing homes, general clinics. Okay, then we have indigenous system of medicine in India. Together they are termed as Ayush, that is Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Tib, homeopathy, yoga and other. There are so many unqualified and unregistered practitioners in India who are being now taken care by the acts which have been passed. Then we have various voluntary agencies like Red Cross agency, then we have Lions Club. So these are the structures or infrastructures through which healthcare is delivered in India. So this you have already seen. The healthcare system in India is delivered under 3 levels, that is primary healthcare, secondary healthcare and tertiary healthcare. In the public sector, we have at the grassroots level, health workers like ASHA workers, sub-center level is there and primary health center is there. These are the 3 things, 3 places where primary healthcare is delivered in India under public sector. Then secondary healthcare is delivered at community health center and district hospitals, whereas the tertiary healthcare is delivered at medical college hospitals and other all India regional centers. So the primary healthcare infrastructure comprises of, at the village for every 1,000 population we have health volunteers, that is either it can be village health guide, Anganwadi workers or trained birth attendants or the ASHA workers. ASHA workers are accredited social health activists. Then at sub-center level, that is a sub-center is present for every 5,000 population, and here a multi-purpose worker will be there to take care of the patients. Then there is a PHC for every 30,000 population where medical officers will be there. Both the allopathy and the Ayush doctors will be there at PHCs. Then for every 1,20,000 population, we have community health centers where specialists of various departments like medicine, surgery, pediatrics, anesthesia, all the specialists will be available at the community health center. So let us see a little bit about who are the grassroots level workers. As I was telling you, this principle is based on placing the people's health in their own hands. That means at village level, we select individuals from a given community, like for example, village health guides, trained local birth attendants. Under ICDS scheme, we select Anganwadi workers and ASHA worker scheme. So these village health guides are selected based on the criteria that they should be permanent residents of that community and they should be preferably women. They should have at least a minimal education up till 6th class and they should be acceptable to all the sections of the community and they should be able to spend at least 2 to 3 hours per day for community work. Then we have local DIs. DIs means trained birth attendants. They are also mainly trained. These are the ones who will take care of home deliveries in the rural area. So if they are trained for aseptic conditions and how to deliver the babies, then it will lead to a lot of improvement in the sepsis following childbirth. It will improve the maternal and child mortality. Then there are Anganwadi workers who are appointed under the Integrated Child Development Services, and one Anganwadi worker is present for every 1,000 population, and these Anganwadi workers will render the services like health checkup, maintenance of growth chart, immunization services, supplementary nutrition, health education to the mothers, non-formal education to children between 3 to 6 years and also referral services. Then we have ASHA workers who are selected based on the criteria that they should be between 25 to 45 years, they should be educated up to 8th class and have communication and leadership skills, and they are selected for every 1,000 population. ASHA has a varied responsibility starting from creating awareness of health, sanitation, nutrition, existing health services, and also counsel the women on safe delivery, breastfeeding, immunization and contraception, as well as mobilizing the community to use the healthcare facility. She acts like a link between the community and the healthcare services so that she gives them the idea that so and so facility is available. She also helps in development of comprehensive village health plan. She accompanies the pregnant women and children to the nearest healthcare facility. She provides primary medical care. She acts as a depot holder for essential drugs, for example, paracetamol, family planning items. Inform the mother about the birth and deaths in the village, and also registers the births and deaths in the sub-center. Also promotes construction of household toilets. This primary health care is provided by primary health center. The one important thing that you should always keep in mind is you should never confuse between what is primary health care and primary health center. Primary health center is a structure which provides the primary health care. So it is established for every 30,000 population in the plains and 20,000 population in hilly and tribal areas. So the services that are provided we all know. What you have to see here is only, even though there are so many primary healthcare centers in India, only 14.4% is utilized in rural areas, 3.9% is utilized in urban areas. So the major challenges for not using primary healthcare services are insufficient infrastructure, shortage of healthcare providers, lack of medicine and limited referral services. So what Government of India has done is, it has implemented National Health Mission and also Ayushman Bharat program under health and wellness clinics under the National Health Policy of 2018. So here they have provided various services along with the previous. They have provided management of communicable, non-communicable diseases, mental health services, then also ENT ophthalmic problems, dental health, palliative care and basic trauma care. So these are the additional facilities that have been provided. To summarize, we learned what are the levels of healthcare in India, what is the definition of primary healthcare, what are the principles, components of primary healthcare, and what is the Indian scenario, and also what are the measures taken by Government of India. To conclude, primary healthcare is a basic health human right which can be provided to everyone under the Health for All declaration by Alma-Ata, and also this is possible through equitable distribution, community participation, intersectoral coordination and appropriate technology. Thank you.